First impressions are very important. You can't redo them and you can't change them once they've happened. People will use them to form an opinion of you when you first meet them. And that also goes for towns, cities, or in this case, an actual state, the Sunshine State of Florida, because someone has erected a billboard along a major road in the United States, basically saying, "Welcome to the free kill state of Florida." But why have they gone and done this? What are they referring to, and are they in the right for actually doing this? Let's have a look, guys, because this is quite an emotional one, particularly for the parents out there. But is this guy in his right mind doing this? Let's have a look. A new billboard along Interstate 95, just south of the Florida-Georgia border, delivers a stark message to motorists who think they're entering a state where things are always sunny. Not quite though, because it says, quote, "Welcome to the free kill state of Florida," end quote. And I will put a picture of this up on the screen for you guys. Now, it will have been in the title card and it will also been the thumbnail for this video as well, just so you're absolutely clear on what is happening here. These words are printed next to a picture of the state's governor, Ron DeSantis, and definitely delivers a strong message for people going south from Georgia. But the shock of seeing this is probably nothing compared to what the person that put this billboard up suffered not too long ago, because it was a grieving father who paid for this billboard to be put up. Daryl Perrett is his name, and his 33-year-old son recently passed away. There is a saying, of course, that parents should never have to bury their children, but unfortunately, tragically, Daryl had to do that earlier this year. His son died in the hospital. But despite this, Perrett said that he couldn't find out what actually killed him because of a bizarre law in the state of Florida, which is totally unique in the United States, which basically protects negligent healthcare providers. The law essentially says that even if a provider of healthcare negligently kills an adult patient, family members cannot sue for pain, suffering, or answers, unless the dead patient in question has a spouse or minor children. So if you have a 25-year-old daughter, for example, who has yet to marry or have children, you have no right to find out what killed them if you're in Florida. Therefore, you cannot sue for negligence, which is absolutely horrible. How mad would you be if this happened to you? And this will have happened to a lot of people. Now, according to Perrett, his son Cameron had a history of blood clots and was admitted to the hospital last fall while coughing up black blood, but despite that, didn't go for surgery until 3 days later when the hospital staff told him they probably couldn't save him. Now, obviously, people pay a lot of money for healthcare in the United States, and to leave someone for 3 days without any kind of surgery when they are coughing up black blood, I'm sorry, I'm no healthcare professional, but that very much does seem like a red flag and something that immediately needs to be addressed. And like I said, this law did apply to his son. His son had no children, he never married, so he has no answers. He has no idea what that coughing of blood was caused by. If it was a blood clot, if it was something else, or even if that contributed to his death, it could have been something else entirely. And given the fact that this could be something genetic as well, it can affect other members of the family, so it could compromise them as well. So I can imagine he's extremely worried from that regard as well. Now, for a change, this is something that is actually supported on both sides of the aisle over in Florida. Representatives from both sides of the Democrats and the Republicans agree that this law needs to be repealed. It needs to change. And in fact, they voted to do as much last year. But, and this is the reason why Ron DeSantis is on the billboard, he vetoed the measure. Why? Probably because he's getting a bit of help from those healthcare providers. I'm just saying that could be a possibility, and it's what a lot of people are theorizing there. Because this is something that only helps the healthcare providers themselves. This does not help any of the people that these representatives actually represent, and the ones that Ron DeSantis says that he represents. Very controversial figure. I've seen a few people call him Ron DeSatan as well, which, you know, when you hear stuff like this, you can kind of understand why. So there you go, a truly bizarre Floridian law that was voted to be repealed, but the governor of Florida vetoed it. And because of that, there are cases like this, and there will be more cases, and there's probably some more cases that we don't know about. So was the father right to erect this billboard? I mean, free speech, you know, if he wants to say that, I'm all for it. As a father myself, I totally understand his anger and frustration at this. You know, it's not the fact that he's lost out on money for the lawsuit. He's said many times that he's not looking for money. He just wants to know why his son died. It is not a request that is something that should be so difficult to honor, you know? So for me, go for it, you know? He's paid for that billboard, he's paid his money, and Ron DeSantis is clearly the man that has stopped him finding out what killed his son. So I'm absolutely fine with that. I got no problem with that personally. But get your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, as always. And I want to appreciate all your support here on the videos, as always, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever you're on the world today. Have a good one.